Hello, this is Orion Christy, here with successful authors Armond, Rosamilla, and Tim Baker, who were kind enough to grant me audience to discuss aspects of their careers and of the industry itself. What do you see as the role of the visual arts in society today, particularly in your profession?
Well, in my profession, with the first thing that needs to grab you is still a book cover. So visually, that's the first thing that a potential reader and a potential buyer is going to look at, is that a book cover, and you have to grab them. Most things today now, with the advent of ebooks, most people don't go into a brick and mortar store and pick up a book and hold it in their hands and turn it over and read what it's about or any of that. They basically go on Amazon and look at 10,000 different books, and they have to choose right then, which book they want to look at and pursue more. So it's a challenge, but it makes it even more important today.
I think visual arts are they're a dominant part of our entire society, not just my profession. Obviously, books and movies, books which translate to movies, is a large part of our society. But with the multimedia capabilities that we have these days, I think visual arts play a huge role. From television, the internet, obviously, books, movies, everything. I think our society is becoming very dependent on the visual arts.
New communications and media technologies make imagery almost instantly available. Do you believe that this is having a positive or a negative influence in your field? For instance, the rampant popularity of file sharing of pirated media.
First off, pirated media is a horrible thing. It takes money right out of my pocket and every other artist's pocket. Hopefully all those sites will be shut down. Unfortunately, for every one that they delete, 15 more come up. I think with the kids, I have teenagers, and I know for them there is no patience in looking, finding an answer. When I was a kid, you went to a dictionary, you went to the library, you asked somebody, you didn't get an instant answer. For them, they pop open their phone and they get an instant answer. I can mention anything to them, and within 2 minutes they have an answer, and then they've already moved on to something else. So it's very fast-paced with technology, which is good if you're looking for something specific, but it's bad because your attention span is just, we're creating an entire world of ADHD kids, basically.
Yeah, obviously, I think, unfortunately, I think it has both a positive and a negative impact on my business. Like you said, with pirating of material, for all the good that the instant access we have does, it also allows for negative aspects, theft and whatnot, and it's part of the fabric of our society. For all the every time you have something good, there's going to be something bad associated with it, for the most part.
What popular images do you see that are frequently repeated throughout your industry?
Well, it depends on the genre. I write zombie books mostly, and you see a lot of the same covers. Unfortunately, too, which we've talked about on our radio show, you see a lot of the same exact image, just slightly manipulated from book to book, and it's a very lazy approach for cover artists. They basically use the same image over and over, and I guess on the familiarity of it on one aspect might be great, but on the other hand, it's the same images being used over and over.
Popular images. The first thing that comes to my mind are movie stills. Iconic movie images. I'm a very big fan of movies, so it's usually the first thing that comes to my mind. Say, the image of Jack Nicholson on the stand in the courtroom of A Few Good Men. Just that still image of him screaming, "You can't handle the truth." Things like that, I think, those are the first things that come to my mind.
Who is one of your favorite visual artists, and what is your favorite format?
Years ago, I wrote fantasy books, and the Boris Vallejo and Royo, those guys were you know, those fantasy artists with the great, you know, the half-naked women fighting, you know, with Conan the Barbarian behind them. Those images, and there's still just so many of those images now. But those, for me, those were the books I originally started buying. I started buying Robert E. Howard books just because of that, you know, Conan the Barbarian, that cover image. I mean, to me, that was awesome. Fantasy.
My favorite style of visual art are movies. I love movies. I've always been a big movie fan. It's probably one of the reasons I got into writing in the first place, was because I have this dream of seeing my books turned into movies. And I think when you say visual artist, I guess I'd have to go with Steven Spielberg.
How has your knowledge of famous artworks influenced your creative process?
Just by knowing what I like. I mean, after, you know, everybody likes what they like, and for me, it's the images that I grew up on. Dean Koontz, Stephen King, those types of books, those covers, and you know, that's the stuff I like. So I try to, when I work with a cover artist, I try to get something unique at it, but I still throw back to the 12-year-old me who was initially impressed with just covers. It wasn't even that the books were great. It's just me reading those, seeing those covers. That was a cool part for me.
Well, for my creative process of writing books, again, I draw largely on other books that I've read, and also from movies. A lot of times when I'm writing a book, in my mind, I'm not writing a book, I'm writing a movie. I'm creating a movie. So I draw on my experiences as a movie watcher to help make my books move along better, you know, to the reader.
What advice do you have for someone who is trying to get started in this business?
Right. Surround yourself with great artists for your covers. Don't do it yourself if you're not artistic. I see so many people who think that they can do a good cover by themselves. They take some clip art and throw their name on it, and it ends up being horrible, and you end up killing your career. Just surround yourself with professionals, editors, cover artists, people, and then just write a good book, and then repeat. The more books you have out today, the better off you're going to be.
Again, it's, well, in any artistic endeavor, whether it's music, movies, painting, writing, we'll stick with writing. The first piece of advice I give them is to read. If you want to be a good writer, you have to read. You have to see what else is done. Not so that you can copy it, just so that you can learn from it, whether it's learning the good or learning the bad. If you want to be a painter, you should paint. If you want to be a musician, you should listen to other music. I think that's the best way to learn your craft, is to study what others have done before you.
Thank you very much for your insights, gentlemen. Particularly.